This is the Edexcel Ial, June 2022, Pure Math 1, P1. This video is going to do mathematics question 7, calculus integration and graphs, finding the equation. So we have a question here. A curve is y equals f of x, so it's just the name of the curve, and x has to be larger than 0. Okay, so he's given certain information. Here we have the information that f of x, they've given us f dash of x, which is the first derivative, given us the first derivative of the equation, where a is some sort of constant, and they've given us the second derivative equal to 0, which is information we can use, we can interpret when x is 4. Okay, so also just this is f dash of 4 is equal to 0. All right. We use this information, it's saying a equals what? Let's take a look. Number 7a. Well, first thing I always do is I get rid of, take this equation, I get rid of these surds, and I put everything on the top. So all the denominators I put into the numerator. So with my first step, f dash of x is 2, square root x is x to the power of a half. So it's 2x to the power of a half. And that's because of the law of exponents, that the a power of m rooted n is equal to a power of m over n. Okay. Second thing that I do is get that x in the denominator. X to the power of 2 in the denominator is negative, and the inverse is negative in the positive in the numerator. So negative in the positive. Okay. Ax to the power of negative 2 plus 3, no changes there. So that's the information. And then, of course, f dash of 4. So when x is 4, y equals 0. F dash of 4 equals 0. So let's work out our f dash of x. We have we have our f dash of x. Let's work out our f dash of x, our second derivative. Second derivative from here, we use the power rule again. So an to the power of x, if our f dash of x in this case is equal to that, then our second derivative is going to be equal to, what have I done? I've rearranged this in a funny direction. Let's make it ax to the power of n. Okay. So our second derivative is going to be n times a, which is na, x, and then we minus 1 from the exponent, n minus 1. So we're doing our second derivative of the equation. So a half times 2 is 1, 2 over 2, which is just 1, so 1x. And a half minus a half is going to be, well, a half minus a half is, well, 0. Ah, it's minus 1. Goodness me. Certainly, that didn't make any sense. A half minus 1. Okay. So we end up with a half minus 1 is minus a half, negative a half. Do the second term. We go minus 2 times a is minus 2a. Let's draw this big A's. They use these capital A's. Minus 2 minus another 1 is minus 3. So x to the power of minus 3. And then we were given that when we let x equal to 4, then f dash of x, when x is 4, then y is 0. So f dash of 4 is 4 to the power of a half minus 2, big A, 4 to the power of minus 3. And so if we reverse all these laws here and do it in 2 steps just to show you how it's done. So anything to the power of negative a half is just 4 to the power of negative a half. And then we because it's in the numerator, we can put it in the denominator, it's positive, so 4 to the power of a half. And then using this rule again, but in reverse, we reverse that rule and we have 1 over root 4, 1 over the square root of 4. Something's wrong with this. What's wrong with it? Something's wrong. Go back, go back. What did I do? This was negative a half. Did I count that? Let me take a look back. Yes, indeed, this was negative a half. Okay. So if that was negative a half, this would be negative 3 over 2. So a half minus 1. This is negative 3 over 2, negative 3 over 2. We get there in the end. Negative 3 over 2. Okay, so for the 2 goes to the outside and the 3 is on the, just doing one term at a time here. I'll come back to the other one. So 1 over the square root of 4 cubed. Let's leave it like that for now. Okay. And come back to the one of the a. It's a little bit more straightforward. So minus 2, 8. If we just using the laws of exponents, 4 to the power of minus 3 is going to be big A 1 over 4 to the power of 3, positive in the denominator because it was negative in the numerator. This was over 1. Then we can do minus 2A, minus 2 times A over 4 to the power of 3. Okay, when do we get to 4 to the power of 3? 4 times 4 times 4, 4 times 4 is 60, 64. Minus 2 over 64, big A. And this was all equal to 0 because we had f of 4 equal to 0. So f of 4 was equal to 0. Right. So now we need A. We need to solve A. Let's take this minus 1 over 4 square root 4 to the power of 3 to the other side, minusing it on both sides. And that will equal minus 2 over 64, 8. And then we divide both sides by negative 2 over 64. Negative 2 over 64. And this I put in my calculator. But we could tip in times it out. If you can also just calculate work. So our A is equal to minus 4. Minus 4. Okay, that was number A. Last note, when I put this in the calculator, I didn't double up my negatives. So this should be plus 4. Right. Let's see what we've got. A is plus 4, not minus 4. Boom. All right, it's for number B, it's also given this following information. So we given that f of x is this, and when x is this. So this is the same, by the same logic as we used previously, when f of 12 is going to be equal to 8 root 3. So when x is 12, y is 8 root 3. And it's now asking you to find f of x. And remember, we had f dash of x, which was the first derivative. So we're reversing it. We're integrating it. We do integration. If we have f dash of x equal to f dash of x in this case was equal to x to the power of, let's say, ax to the power of n, then our integral, our original form equation would be f of x is in this case not a capital, the capital F, just to depict that we went backwards, is going to be, well, first we plus 1 to the n, so ax n plus 1, and then because you're not only reversing what you're doing, you reverse the order that you do it in. All divided by n plus 1. No. Okay. So this is what we need to do. So we had our f dash of x as 2x power of a half, plus our a value is 4 plus 4, x to the minus 2 plus 3 from previous question. And what we want to say is, well, what is f of x? Okay. What is f of x? So we do these each term separately. So do one term at a time. F of x is equal to, whoops, here we go. All right, here we go. So a half, not timesing the sum, that would be deriving. We're not deriving, we're going the other direction. So a half plus 1, all over a half plus 1. Okay, so each time we do this, it'll be equal to, oh, again, this is my copying down skills are not wonderful today. So I think this was a negative a half. Let's go back and check. It's a negative a half because x was in the denominator. So the square root of x in the denominator, x power of a half in the denominator, x power of negative a half in the numerator. Okay, I need to slow it down a little bit. Minus a half plus 1 is just a half. Minus a half plus 1 is just a half. So f dash of x is equal to 2x to the power of a half minus a half. X to the power of a half plus a half this time over a half. The second one, we can take minus 2 plusing 1 plus 1 all over minus 2 plus 1, which is what, minus 1. Okay. So we plus 4 minus 2 plus 1, 4x to the minus 1 all over negative 1. And 3, there was an x there to the power of 0. That was our x plus, so don't forget about this term, plus 1 all over 1. So plus 3x over 1. And lastly, don't forget about the constant term. Never forget about the constant term. There was some sort of constant term here that it got disappeared for the when we find the first derivative. So you got to reverse that, and you take that into account by saying plus c. And of course, don't forget the plus c on the in the format here. Okay. Good. Let's make this look a little bit better. And then we need to solve for that unknown c because it wanted the actual value. So f dash of x, simplify this. Well, something divided by a half is times by 2. So 2 times 4 is 4. 4x to the power of plus a half. Okay. Then minus something divided by negative 1 is just negative 4. And plus 3x plus c. Now, remember, we were given the information that f of 12, when x is 12, is equal to 8 square root 3. Oh, that's our information there. So we can sub this in. This means that the point 12, 8 square root 3 is on f. It's on f somewhere. Okay. It must be, it was given. So we can sub it in. We can sub it into our f of x, which, just fix this. This was f of x. Okay. So here we have 8 square root 3. The f of x part is the y. It depicts the y of the equation. F 8 square root 3 equals 4. We want the x's to be 12s. minus 4, 12, minus 1, plus 3, 12, plus C. Okay, my counting skills today is not good. I'm going to use the calculator for this. So take it all to the other side. So we have C equal to 8 square root 3 minus 4, 12. Put this all in the calculator as I go. Minus 4, 12, minus 1, plus 3, 12. Okay, this is what our C will be. And my calculator hopefully is correct. Just check, I'll double check afterwards. Is this. C is this. Last step, I don't think you get any marks for. Anyway, don't think you get extra marks for this, but I always prefer, oh gosh, one of those days. Okay, f of x, there we go. F of x is 4x to the power of a half minus 4x to the minus 1 plus 3x. And our C value was 108/3. And that concludes this question. Just check it. Yes, that's perfect. So we concluded question 7, number A and number B. And that's the end of question 7 of this paper, this June 2022 P1. Good.